Hi everybody, welcome. This is Adam. Today going to be talking about the Rebel 1100. This was a bike I was given on loan back in June, and this was because of a nice young gentleman that rear-ended my beloved Triumph Thunderbird. So got in contact with the insurance company, due process, they took her away, said would you like a loan bike? And I'm like, do you know what, I would, because you know, during May period through till now, you know, we're pushing November now, that this is the period that I will be using my Thunderbird, you know, for going out, drive day rides and commuting to work and all that sort of thing. I have an Africa Twin as well, but much as I love my Africa Twin, it can be a bit of a lump to negotiate skinny roads when there's a lot of traffic. So anyway, they said, yeah, would you like this? I'm sort of, okay, yeah, always good to try a new bike. So here we are. This is the Rebel 1100. This one's on 22 plate, so 2 years old. And we're going to get cracking and ride this thing.
So here are the specs of the Honda CMX 1100 Rebel. Now the engine displacement, as I've already said, is 1100cc or 1084. You have a fuel capacity of the tank of 13.6 litres. The bike weighs in at 223 kilos, and the power comes in 86 brake horse with a maximum torque of 72.3 foot-pounds. Fuel consumption averages around 56 to the gallon. Performance, you're looking at a 0 to 60 of around 4.3 seconds. A top speed just shy of 100 mile an hour. So there are the basic specs. The price point comes in between 6 and 9,000. You'll pay a little bit more for the DCT version. Those unfamiliar with the DCT, basically it is a dual clutch transmission that gives you an alternative to the normal manual gearbox. This will give you the choice of automatic or paddle shift on the handlebars, and you have different rider modes in with that. This model that I'm using, it's manual, and it does actually have different modes as well. There we have it for the specs. Now let's get on with the riding.
So let's get this started. So immediately, as you can see, it is a low slung bike, which is great for people who are vertically challenged. Can we still say that? Slinging the leg over is very nice. Feet flat on the floor, standing up. As you see, this is low slung. So immediate impressions that come to hand, it's an 1100cc bike, but it feels right now, it feels absolutely diminutive. Now obviously I ride my Africa Twin a lot, so it is like the little Leonard show, but yeah, this feels even smaller than my Thunderbird, despite it being a larger capacity motorcycle, which I know there's a difference of about, well, when the Rebel 1100 came out, I suppose about 20-25 years, you know, in advancements and all the rest of it. So but even so, I mean, this feels smaller than my Triumph Thunderbird 900, which is great work from Honda. This is a parts bin special, in my view. We're going from the engine, which is straight out the Africa Twin. Although the dial is a different shape, this is all familiar to those that ride an Africa Twin. The way this is laid out, the style of the digits and so forth, and as are the controls. Now these controls are identical to my 2018 Adventure Sport. You can scroll through, change your trip meter, your power settings. You can have sport, you set your own on user defined if it's raining, and standard. So I'm going to leave it in sport today, and that's that. And yeah, that's it. So that layout is quite different. The same with this side. The main difference being to my Africa Twin is the one thing that it's annoying that my Africa Twin was the ride by wire, the Adventure Sport. Whenever I'm riding, one thing I always thought was missing was cruise control, but this does have it. so it's probably going to be difficult to use it today. I will tell you now that on previous rides, when I've had a decent stretch of road, this is great. It really is, and it's, you know, just like a car, it's you think, oh, am I going to get used to this? But you do very quickly, and it's a great asset. Although the funny thing is with the small tank, it holds about 10 litres of fuel. Every time I topped up and it's flashing, yeah, it's roughly about 10 litres you put in, and that'll fill it up, which is disconcerting when I'm used to my Adventure Sport, and even my Thunderbird. You know, my Adventure Sport takes 24 litres, my Thunderbird sort of 13, 14. So yeah, this is a small tank, so it's weird having cruise control on a bike that doesn't really do too many miles between stops. It's not through its fuel economy. The fuel economy I found has been pretty good, but I'll discuss it on the ride. So anyway, right, we're going to get started. Nice and easy. Right. So yeah, going to go on a quick 10-minute ride. I'm going to have a quick chat about having this the last couple of months. Now, as I was just saying about fuel economy, yeah, this is weird because I say the tank's quite small. It's smaller than what I'm used to with my Africa Twin and my Thunderbird. So it's weird when I've done rides, it feels like the fill-ups have been, well, they are essentially, that the fill-ups have been frequent, but then I've done a fair amount of mileage on top of it, and it's literally been 10 litres at a time, and I've done, you know, roughly around 100 miles per tank, give or take, with a lot of mixed riding, and admittedly a lot of that riding is urban, like the roads we're on at the moment. So, you know, there's plenty of stop, start and gear change and all the rest of it. Right, so off it goes. It's got a nice low centre of gravity. It is very much easier bike to lean around than the Africa Twin, but then the Africa Twin's a completely different bike, although they've got the same engine. That's the mad thing about it. Now, as I was saying, I've had this for a few months, so I've had the benefit of having to spend some time with this, and it is a pleasing, well put together bike. Clutch control, I actually find the clutch control and the traction control on this better than my Adventure Sport. It feels less intrusive, because with my Adventure Sport it goes back to nanny state settings. Oh, wrong one. Honda, why did you put the indicators there and the horn there? That's annoying. Yeah, as I say, the traction control on my Adventure Sport is very nanny state. It kicks off on the 6 out of the 7 settings, and if you want to get away quickly, it will cut in. I have no doubt. But this I find really nice. You can pull away very quickly, as I've found out many a time, and it's nice and easy to use. So I don't know if I can get a lot of twisty in today. I haven't got a lot of time. I've left this to the last minute. Nice one, mate. Jump ahead, why don't you? Silly sod. Oh, so this is going to be our first interesting bit of filtering. Now, this is one of the things I've loved about this. It's narrow. Alright, I'm stuck now. I can't go that far. Oh, Thank you. Yeah, as I say, I can't go that far because of the way this is a 3 into 2 merging lane, and obviously you can see this lane is shut off, so there's only so much filtering I could do, but this is so easy to filter with. It's one of the things I've loved about it. I mean, my Thunderbird's pretty good as well, but this I find is superb. So it's relatively narrow, that low centre of gravity and the punchy 1100 that sits there. I can't believe I'm doing this and I'm sitting in traffic. No, I'm not going to go down the cones. That's naughty. Yeah, as I say, it's that low centre of gravity, the punchy engine, narrow, and it's almost intuitive, I would say. So, right, okay, so I'm just going to open the taps a little, like that. It is the pull is immediate. Again, this is, I understand, only has 85 brake pulls, but it's with an engine this big, it's the torque and where it kicks in. That's what's important with something like this. You know, it's not about revving the nuts out of it. It's not what they're about. But this one, as I say, I'm quite limited to the amount of throttle I can give. This riding position, it's a little bit feet forward, a little bit feet out. It's not feet, you know, it's not proper feet forward like the big cruisers. It just sort of, it's a nice natural position. And as I've found when I've gone around to twisty bits, it's very easy to get the pegs down on this. And I've also found that the back end, you can get the back end to step out if you really want to, but it's pretty controllable. So yeah, I'm just going to, or I might have the opportunity to show you a little bit of filtering with this. It's nice and easy. Again, that low centre of gravity, it's an absolute blessing. So you can probably go for a quick pull away up to 40 anyway. Again, I can show you just how brisk the acceleration is. Now, around some roads near to me, around the sort of Canute and Wallasey, yeah, you just can't give it a bit of justice for its now, my usual test roads around Canute and Wallasey Island, and it's lovely that, you know, 60 speed limits, twisty and so on, and this is a great fun bike to ride. Indeed, on one of my journeys out, I'd take it quite leisurely, and this Gixxer come past me. I knew it was a Gixxer from the back end, they're easy to recognise. I didn't know if it was a 6, whether it was a 750 or 1000, I really didn't know. But there we go, look at this, so easy. Really nice. I don't know what engine size it was. The fact of the matter, even the 600 is going to have probably about 30 brake horsepower more than this would have. And the thing thing about those roads, because they're so twisted, there's not a lot of straights you can open up. In that instance, although the power won't compete with the Jigsaw, but the torque did. I could punch out of corners and keep onto his shirt tail, and it was good fun. He gave me a little nod as we went past, as he went his separate way. But yeah. Right, there's a little bit of twisty down here, but no more, it's going to be traffic. Yeah, it is. I'm not going to get anywhere fast with these two slow coaches. 3. I'm not even going to push it, to be honest, which is annoying. But basically what I'm doing is just take I'm on a little loop sort of thing. Okay, yeah, I just don't think I'm really going to get anywhere today with the time I've got. Just quickly, the furthest I've gone on this in one stint has been from where I live in Southend up to Clacton, which is a distance of just over 50 miles. The riding position was great. I felt little discomfort when I got off. As I said, this is a nice easy bike to ride. I don't quite think it's learner friendly. If you've just passed your test, there are smaller Rebels available. I think that'd be ideal around the 500cc mark. I think they'd do a Rebel 500. But as I say, this is very easy to get on with. It is very intuitive. I've had no moments with this. I think possibly once or twice I've had someone pull out on me. But the brakes are up to the job. Just a quick thing. I'll tell you what this doesn't have that my Africa Twin does, and I don't know if it's because this is a more basic layout or whether Honda changed their mind, but my Africa Twin has an auto cancel, which I'm on the fence about. Sometimes it's handy. People do forget to take their indicators off. I've done it myself, I'm no exception. But it could cancel when you don't want it to. This doesn't have it. It's just a standard normal indicators. The funny thing is, I've forgotten that this doesn't have auto cancel. As I say, because the layout is the same as my Africa. So there's been times when I have left the indicator on, so I've forgotten. My bad. It's just how it is. So yeah, I'm on the fence over auto cancel. Now I have been using this to get to work and back, amongst other things. And as I say, this is great for commuting, because although it's, from a capacity side, it's a big bike with 1100, as we said, but the dimensions and the weight centralisation that Honda have employed means it don't feel that at all. It might sound mental, but to me it feels like a heavyish one to fight, a 125cc bike with a bit more weight to it. That's how it feels. That's how the dimensions of this feel. So you know, I've got full marks to how Honda have packaged this. You know, as I said, it is a little bit of a parts bin. You know, what I was saying about the switches, I mean, like even the foot pegs on this, they're the same as my Africa Twin, you know. But sometimes these things, you know, the previous Japanese manufacturers have done what you call the parts bin special, and they've been proven to be utter successes. You know, the Honda Hornet, you know, Suzuki's Bandit, you know, the Street Triple, all that sort of thing. Repackaging existing tech can work out really, really well, and I think the same thing applies to this. Now, I'm going to discuss now my thoughts about this bike in general. Now, first of all, when I'd seen other Rebels about, you know, yeah, it looks okay. I think it was more to the fact that the colour scheme I'd seen on other Rebels, and I've seen the to be fair, the only Rebels that I've seen have been in the satin black. I don't mind satin black. I think it works particularly well with gold. You know, I built a Honda Dominator that was black and gold. It looked great. You know, I've seen it on the R1, on Trans Daytona. You know, the satin black's a good colour, but the one I'd seen, it was literally all satin black, and I wasn't keen on it at all. But I have since looked at other colour schemes. The one that I've been given is like a bronze effect, and it really does suit it. And like the black finishing of the metals, I think this is a handsome little bike. It probably goes under the radar in comparison to other cruisers and stuff, but sometimes that's probably a good thing. The other thing I like with this, the exhaust note. This has got a wonderful can on it. Honda again have done a good job with the noise from their standard cans. I know, you know, if you want to weight save, you junk them. That's a given. But for standard cans, I mean, have a listen. It's nice. It's nice, it's not too loud, it's a good note, you know, it's just a good all-round sound to me. And so my Africa Twin is no different. That produces a great noise, but it's not intrusive. My Thunderbird, but if and when I get that back, I'll cover that. The other question remains, now would I personally have one of these? Now that is a £10,000 question. So at the moment I have two bikes, you know. I know the driver's with the insurance company, but she's my bike. So I have two bikes. My Africa Twin, you know, my Africa Twin's Honda, and it's an adventure bike. My Triumph is a Triumph, and it's a retro-y, cruiser-y style machine, and I love the pair of them dearly. The thing, now here's the thing. if my adventure bike had been, oh, what's going on here? If my adventure bike had been the Triumph Tiger, which I was seriously considering. Oh, this way. Oh, that one, right. So yeah, if my adventure bike had been the Triumph Tiger, the 800, which I really liked, that was what I would have got had Honda not announced that they were relaunching the Africa Twin back in the mid-teenies. Then it's very likely if I'd have had a cruiser, I could probably have had an older school Honda. You know, something like the Nighthawk or whatever, you know, something like that, around the 80s, 90s era, which is kind of where my Thunderbird is. My Thunderbird's been 90s. So if it was my, let's say for argument's sake, if it was my Nighthawk that was at the insurers, then I would consider, you know, if that didn't come back, then I would say, yeah, I would have one of these. Absolutely no argument at all. I think this is a smashing little bike. I have really enjoyed the last few months that I've had on it. But as such, my adventure bike is my Africa Twin, my retro cruiser is my Thunderbird, and I just love my Thunderbird too much to really to part for anything else, unless the unforeseen happened, then it you know, it got written off or you know, blew up, whatever. Then you might think, you know, I might look at something else, but I wouldn't trade my Thunderbird for one of these. There's no disrespect to the Rebel. As I said, I really like this and the time that I've had with it. It's just, my Thunderbird has been my bike for the last 11 years and I just love everything about it. I know she probably don't brake as well as this does, not as punchy. At the end of the day, it's a triple, so it's not going to be. Triples are innately very linear with their power curves. That's what I like about her, and a noise. I wouldn't swap the Thunderbird for one of these. But if my cruiser was an existing Honda, then I'd say, all right, yeah, fair play. I'd look at a Rebel. And they have a great price point as well. These are very well priced. I like the finish on it, you know, it's Honda typical build quality with this is great. It's yeah, I will miss this. And I suppose the last question is, would I recommend one of these? Absolutely 100% yes. As I said, I've had nothing of issue in the last few months that have said to me, I really don't like this. Quite the opposite. This has been a great bike to get on with in every respect. From its fuel economy, which it would do 50 odd to the gallon, easy, if you ride a bit considerately, which is great for a large capacity bike. Yeah, it's economy, it's way it punches. I say it's not, you know, there are bikes out there which will punch a lot harder than this, but this punches very well. As I've shown, it's very easy to get away from the lights quick, out of bends, and so on. It's been a great experience. So if you want one, go and have a look. They're out there. That's it for me. I hope this review hasn't been too boring, and I will see you on the next video. Take care for now. Rubber side down. Bye bye.